That's where they're hanging out. Yeah, stay off the road. Keep going. Move along. Move along. There's another conspirator. Ma. -5 this morning, and last night it was supposed to have gone down to -10. It's probably not the worst that's happened, that weather or temperature that this area's had, but it's the coldest it's been in a while. And I'm sure those people in Minnesota or up in North Dakota are thinking, this is a heat wave, you know. But it's unusual for us. It's all relative. I live down in Texas, and it gets down to 50 degrees, and people got their parkas out. So, but it's what you're acclimated to. But anyway, a couple of things I wanted to talk about this morning have to do with some posts that I saw on Facebook. And people mean well, and you look at them, and they're those little pictures with the captions, the memes or memes. I get they're supposed to be funny. I get they're supposed to make kind of a quick point. But some of them are just downright untrue. Or they don't represent an accurate comparison when there's a side-by-side. And the first one in particular was a picture where there's some soldiers either under fire or in some kind of war game or something, and it says something to the effect of we make less than minimum wage and you want $50 for flipping a burger. I will say that I do agree $15 an hour for minimum wage is a little ridiculous, or well, it's a lot ridiculous. When I started working, it was minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, and I was a kid in high school. I was a high school. I wouldn't say. Anyway, I was looking for a job in high school, and I was glad to get $3.35 an hour. And minimum wage, even back then, sucked. That's the truth. Minimum wage will always suck. You're not supposed to live on minimum wage. Employers are legally bound to pay at least minimum wage, unless you're a waiter or waitress, then they don't have, I think there's a minimum for that, but people don't scream too loud about that, because that is if your job entails getting a tip, which supplements the minimum wage. But anyway, back to minimum wage. Compared to the military, yes, the military, if you add up all the hours that you're required to work, or they make you work, or drill, or whatever, when I was deployed, people may or may not know, non-military people may not know, that when you are deployed, you work as long as you need to work to get the mission done. Normal working day on a ship is either 12 on, 12 off, or 6 on, 6 off. That means you work 12 hours and you get 12 hours off, unless there is an event where you have to stay up. I mean, I've stayed up 40 hours straight, and that, you know, not just one time, several times I've stayed up 24, 40 hours. It's not unusual, but normal working day on a ship is 12 on, 12 off for me. So you divide that by, or you take how much I get paid, what my take-home pay was, divided by what I worked, hours I worked out at sea, and it came out to about 50 cents an hour. And yeah, you could say, oh, that's crap, you know, we're paying our military nothing, and we don't really. But you know what? I joined the military knowing I wasn't going to get rich. So that's another video. But you know, even with that 50 cents an hour, I got medical, dental. If I got sick or if I needed dental work, I could go to the infirmary and get fixed up. I can get over-the-counter medicine for quote-unquote free. That's another one about socialized medicine. That's another video. And I got 3 meals a day, and I got a place to sleep. And even when I was shore-based, before I was married, I had a barracks to live in. Yes, I had to keep it clean. Wow, truck is going real slow on the road there. But I didn't pay rent on it. I didn't have to buy any furniture. The only thing I needed to buy was what clothes I wanted. If I wanted a video game, I could buy a video game. So as far as what I took home, that was all mine. We had a saying, you know, we would, when we did our physical fitness, our runs, we had a song, and I'm sure every service sings the same song. Something about working for Uncle Sam, you make $100 and they take back 99. But at least I had money in my pocket. And if you're gonna try to compare being in the military pay to civilian minimum wage pay, there's no comparison. If you took a 19-year-old, put him in the military, and see how he does after a year versus a 19-year-old, no college, barely passed high school, and stick him at a minimum wage job, even working $15 an hour, there's no way that kid making $15 an hour is going to survive with no place to live. You know, he's got to pay rent. Oh, and that's another thing in the military. I didn't need a car. Yeah, it would have been nice to have a car, but I think I got through the first 4 or 6 months without a car. So, yeah, you can say that about a kid making minimum wage. He might be living at home, but again, that's not a fair comparison. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. It's not a one-to-one comparison. You can't compare a military person, the whole picture as far as pay and benefits goes, to somebody making $15 an hour, even though, yeah, their take home, and that's another thing. In the military, you get a monthly pay. You get a salary every month, regardless of if you work 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day. Whereas a minimum wage worker, they may not be working full time. They may only work 8 hours or 5 hours a day, or even sometimes 3 hours a day. And I remember working minimum wage. And again, I'm not defending a $15 minimum wage. I don't even think minimum wage should be what it is now, because you're not supposed to. it's a supplemental job. It's a temporary job, or you know, you're not supposed to live on minimum wage, or it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone job. You know, employers are in it to reduce cost and make more profit. So if there is no avenue for you to make more than minimum wage, it's gonna be harsh, but you either A, need to find a different job that'll pay you more, or B, improve your skill set by going to school, or you know, what they call co-oping, interning at a place where you might not get paid, but at least you're learning a skill. And then once you acquire those skills, then you might be able to work for money. I was going to be a volunteer police officer. I signed up for the police academy. I was getting ready to go into the police academy, but then I started going to college, so I had to drop it. But I was willing to work for the police department for free to get those skills, so when a position opened up, I could become a police officer. So there are many, many more ways than this video has, than I've mentioned in this video, for you to improve your earning ability. So recap. Yeah, people in the military, when you boil down how many hours they work versus what they take home, is probably less than minimum wage. I'll give them that, but it's a guaranteed salary. You don't have to pay, well, if you live on base, you don't have to pay for housing, you don't have to pay for your food, and you got money in your pocket. You know, try doing the same thing on even $15 an hour. And again, that's not even a fair comparison, because you're not supposed to be able to live on minimum wage. Have I said that enough? Well, what do you think? What are your observations? That's all I got. See you later.